Yo, what's up, y'all? It's your boy P-Lot, aka the Brick Slinger. Guess what? Your boy got something to say. Consider this part 2 of the whole Dee-1 Lecrae situation. As you already know, Dee-1 is going viral for an interview he has done where he basically was saying on a clip, like, there's no room in the kingdom of God for righteousness and ratchetness. However, there is in a black community. And he made it clear, he's not pro-black more than he's pro-God. And it got to a big uproar for a lot of folks, especially folks like Van Lathan and Lecrae. And Lecrae did a video basically trying to beautify ratchetness. So when Dee-1 basically called him out, it was clear as day what's going on. Now, afterwards, there was a conversation between the two individuals. But it seemed like after that conversation was done, Lecrae put out some t-shirts. Well, one said righteousness and ratchetness, and the other one says, I quote, Cardi B and Corinthians. I can quote Kendrick and Corinthians. Like, these are literally t-shirts. And Dee-1 put out a video expressing his disappointment to see that. And then lately, Lecrae put out a video expressing how that was a very hasty move, and he wasn't thinking straight when he was pushing these t-shirts out. But here's my thing. Lukewarm is lukewarm. Lukewarm is lukewarm. That is crazy to see that on a social media platform, is to see a conversation where the topic has become bigger than life. Yeah. Even though Lecrae probably pulled the shirts back, it still don't change the conversation. It still don't change the concept of righteousness and ratchetness in the conversation. Because truth be told, when you're trying to embrace a culture that doesn't embrace, or maybe let me do it this way. When you're trying to embrace a culture and trying to make room to embrace everything, and yet call yourself a Christian, it really clashes. Whether you realize it or not, whether you want it or not, whether you like it or not, it clashes. Why? Because Christians do not live under a certain expectation as the world do, as a non-Christian do. A Christian live under a righteous standpoint. The world doesn't live under the righteous standpoint because they don't see themselves living righteously like that. And many people will say, well, I go to church every Sunday. So, just because you got a perfect attendance at church, that does not mean that you're safe from the conversation. Because many people will try to talk that whole, oh, you need to pray more, you need to do this more, you need to do that more. They don't even do much of that on their own. And you can tell they don't do that much on their own because of how they really live in themselves. It's like, how can you say you're a Christian, yet you cuss on a daily basis? And the Bible makes it clear that no profane anything should be coming out your mouth. Why? Because life and death are in the power of the tongue. And that's just the simple stuff. And it goes on to how can you be a Christian when you steal? Bible makes it clear thou shalt not steal. Bible makes it clear, how can you say you're a Christian when you do the things that you do that is the total opposite of what a Christian's supposed to do? Matter of fact, I'll take it even further. How can you call yourself a Christian when you do something that's the total opposite that Christ does? That's the thing. Like what Lecrae did, I respect Lecrae for even want to pull this back, but it still don't change the fact that he continued the conversation. He could have left it alone. He could have just fall back, but instead he took himself into a conversation that does not have anything to do with him in the first place, because his name wasn't brought up in the midst of that in that interview. But I guess he felt some type of way because he heard two words that fitted, that put him in the midst. Well, I wouldn't say put him in the midst, but got his attention, and that's righteous and ratchet. When I can expect that from Van Lathan. Let Van Lathan try to make this argument. That way, he and Dee-1 can have this conversation a little bit more than Dee-1 and Lecrae. And I say that because it was Van Lathan argument that was, in my opinion, not intelligent. It was not intelligent. As a matter of fact, it was too much race based, because he trying to defend his argument was the total opposite of what Dee-1 was talking about. Like, it was really not intelligent enough. And for somebody like Van Lathan, who is known for being in a journalist field like TMZ, he should have did better. He should have did a better job. He, as a journalist, should have looked at that interview a little bit thoroughly before he made that non-intelligent comment. Of course he didn't know what Dee-1 mean, because Dee-1 ain't speaking his language. Dee-1 is not speaking his vocabulary. Dee-1 is a different breed of dude. He's a different breed of bros. He don't talk like a Lil Wayne. He don't talk like, a Lil Dirt. He don't talk like a 50 Cent. He don't talk like a Jay-Z. He's Dee-1. He's different for a reason. He comes from a different, a different type of, he comes from a different kind of cloth than every other rapper. Matter of fact, he comes from a different cloth than Lecrae. Right now. That's what it looks like right now. And even if folks may say, "Well, P, you're kind of hating," and whatever the case may be, you're not being a kingdom supporter like you say you are. No, this is what the kingdom should look like. This is what the kingdom of God should be about. Because at the end of the day, Lecrae did something wrong, and he was called out. He was held accountable, and he repented. He repented and turned from that, making that decision, because truth be told, that looked like an emotional decision that Lecrae made. It looked like he felt some type of way to be held accountable. Like, Lecrae been in the game for like 20 years now. And I salute him for the work he's been putting in from Real Talk all the way up to the this fourth volume of Church Clothes. I give him total respect. His music is dope and all that stuff. He's been going through some ups and downs when it comes to his doctrines. But at the end of the day, 20 years, that's a lot of time, man. But it still don't change the fact that he still can't change the fact that he still can get checked. He can still be held accountable. You know, because at the end of the day, he is still going to be held responsible for the things he says as well as the things he do, just like everybody else, just like the rest, just like me as well. But you know what? When it's all said and done, hopefully he does better when it comes to doing stuff like this, because when you getting called out, and instead of falling back and be like, man, let me think on it, you go and do putting out products and trying to embrace the argument, or at least your end of the argument, it doesn't look good, not just for you, but it don't look good for the Reach Breaker brand, and it definitely don't look good for the kingdom of God. It doesn't. And many people may say, well, ain't nothing wrong with being righteous and ratchet. Find that in the scripture and we can talk about it. But that's just me. This your boy P-Lot, aka the Brick Slinger. If you like what you heard, there's a like button. If you dislike what you heard, there's a dislike button. Comment, give me your 2 cents, and you can disagree. But as long as you're not disrespectful, you're all right with me. Subscribe, share this video, continue this conversation. Who knows, we may end up doing live. And make sure you get that Man of the Construction. It's on every digital outlet, from Amazon to iTunes, Spotify, you name it, it's there. It's your boy P-Lot, aka the Brick Slinger. And as always, continue to sharpen one another. Support the kingdom. Take care and God bless. Labor.